Ravi was born into a family with limited means in a small town where opportunities seemed few and far between. His father worked long hours in a factory, while his mother spent her days stitching clothes for neighbors to make ends meet. Their combined income was barely enough to cover the basics of daily life. Ravi's family lived in a cramped one-room house with a leaking roof, and he shared a small desk with his younger siblings, who often fought over the few resources they had. Despite the hardship, Ravi was a dreamer, always believing that education was his ticket to a better life. But in his community, where poverty was common and dreams often felt unattainable, Ravi faced constant skepticism. Neighbors whispered that boys like him from poor families rarely made it far. "What's the point of trying so hard?" they would say. "You're never going to escape this life." These words weighed heavily on Ravi's heart, but they also fueled his determination. He promised himself that he would break free from the cycle of poverty. Ravi's journey wasn't easy. Every day he had to balance his schoolwork with odd jobs. He would wake up before dawn to deliver newspapers, sweep streets, or carry heavy loads for shopkeepers, earning just a few rupees. Despite his exhausting schedule, Ravi was determined to study. His family couldn't afford books, so he borrowed second-hand ones from the library, often returning them with pages that were torn or yellowed with age. When the electricity went out at night, Ravi would light a candle and study in the dim light. One particularly difficult day, Ravi sat down to study for an important exam. He had put in weeks of preparation, sacrificing his free time, sleep, and social life. Yet, when the results came, he found out that he had failed. His heart sank. Not only had he failed the exam, but the disappointment from his family and the judgment from his neighbors felt like a crushing blow. "I told you this was a waste of time," they said. In that moment, Ravi was consumed by self-doubt. He questioned whether all the sacrifices had been worth it and whether he was just another victim of his circumstances. But then, as he sat quietly in his room, feeling defeated, his father entered and sat beside him. His father, a man who had never received an education himself, placed a comforting hand on Ravi's shoulder and said, "Failure is not defeat, my son. It is just the lesson before success. You have the strength to rise again." Those simple words had a profound impact on Ravi. He realized that failure was not the end. It was merely a stepping stone on the path to success. With renewed determination, he decided to push forward, no matter how difficult the journey might be. Ravi doubled down on his efforts. He didn't have the luxury of a tutor or advanced resources, but he had grit and determination. He woke up even earlier, staying up late into the night, working through every problem and absorbing everything he could from the few books he had. He studied under the streetlights, sat in libraries, and took advantage of every free moment to learn. Ravi's social life was non-existent, but he didn't mind. He was driven by the vision of a better future for himself and his family. Months later, Ravi sat for the exams again. This time, he passed with flying colors. He earned a scholarship to attend a prestigious school in the city, an opportunity that seemed unimaginable just a year before. As he stood on the stage to receive his scholarship, Ravi couldn't help but reflect on the journey he had been through. Those sleepless nights, the doubts, the failures, and the small victories. When Ravi graduated, he received not only his degree, but also a job offer from a respected company in the city. The same community that once doubted him now stood in awe of his achievements. Ravi returned to his village, not as the boy who was labeled a failure, but as a living example of what hard work, perseverance, and unwavering belief in oneself could accomplish. He didn't just break free from poverty, he inspired others to follow in his footsteps. Ravi's journey was a testament to the power of perseverance and self-belief. Through all the struggles, failures, and setbacks, he proved that anyone, no matter their background, could rise above their circumstances with determination, hard work, and the belief that anything is possible. His life was no longer defined by the limits others placed on him. It was defined by the limitless potential he had discovered within himself.